The trio says protesters held a rally outside the detention center where most of those arrested are being held.
Angelica Salas with the Coalition Humane Immigrant Rights called the actions unconscionable.
Our community is under attack and is being killed. These are workers. These are fathers. These are mothers. And this has to stop.
Later, 300 to 400 people rallied in front of the federal building, blocking Los Angeles Street in both directions. Organizers vowed they will mobilize opposition to arrests and detentions. In downtown LA, I'm Pete Demetrio, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Two raids by federal immigration agents happened this morning in the LA Council District, represented by Cesar Hernandez. She talked about the incidents during this morning's council meeting.
My district, they were at a labor center at the Home Depot in Cypress Park and the Day Labor Center in Westlake at the Home Depot there. And we cannot act like they are not going to kidnap and take our people from our neighborhoods because we're doing it. We're literally talking about people being kidnapped, disappeared, families being broken up.
Unclear if federal agents made any arrests in Cypress Park or in LA's Westlake district.
Breaking news on KNX News 97.1 FM.
And we are now getting this alert from the LAPD. They've announced they've issued a city tactical alert requiring all officers to remain on duty after their shifts and due to the protest happening in downtown Los Angeles. We've been giving live reports there. And, we've been told that it was kind of on a knife's edge. It had been dwindling in numbers over the last hour or so. However, those that remain are not going to go quietly, apparently, at least not now. We will continue to see what happens. But in the meantime, they have decided to call that tactical alert. We'll pass along the latest information as it comes in. Right now, let's get you out of the roadways. 10:05 now. Traffic on the flyers. Here's Rebecca Goodyeon.
Okay, taking a look at your ride
お
on
は
the
ようございます。
northbound
ドライバーの
heading
ボビちゃ
into
んで
the
す。
Hollywood
毎
Hills
日配
area. I
信、
did
多
get
分
a
朝の
call
挨
about
拶
this actually from
毎日
Jennifer
配
who
信、
said
多分朝
on
の
the
ご挨
101
拶、ライフロメ
southbound
レ
right
ナンバ
right around Highland.
ー
There's a dog on the
1284 第
freeway, and as you
1284
can
回
see
目、
that this dog
今
is
日は
on the freeway,
6月
standing in
6
the
日
right lane. There's a lot of cars swerving
金
to
曜
get
日の
around.
朝のご挨
So
拶で
just
す。
take
おはよう
care
ご
if
ざい
you're
ま
on the
す。ボビ
101
ちゃんで
southbound
す。
again at Highland. There's a dog
時
on
刻
the
の方は
road
10
walking
時
around in the
6
right
分で
hand
すね。
shoulder. Cars are
10
having
時
to
6
swerve
分で
to
す。
obey this dog. Last I heard from Jennifer, the
サン
dog
タモ
was
ニカの
running
方におります。
opposite
10時過
the
ぎたか
flow
ら
of
サン
traffic,
タモ
so
ニカの
driving
方に
against
いるん
traffic.
ですけどね、
So be
海の
aware of
方
that. I
で
don't
す。
see you back up there right now. As you continue south on the 101, you will run
こ
into
の
some
辺り
slow
ですね。
traffic right around Vermont
サ
Avenue
ンタモニカの方におりま
and
す。
all the way over to the four-level
サンタ
interchange.
モニカの方におりますが、そろそろ帰り道にしようかな。流しの運転手、そろそろ海の方から LA のダウンタウンの方に向かって帰ろうかななんて思いながら、もしお客さんに呼ばれたらまだ走ってもいいかなっていう感じでございます。花金って言われにはなんかあんまり忙しくないですね。バンバン走ってる時間かなっていう感じはするんですけど、そうですね。
In the 60s, 70s range for the coast and around 80 for inland and in the valley.
それでですね、今日の詩なんですけど、今日の見出しなんですけどね、アイス、あれですね、イミグレーション、イミグレーションですね、移民局、イミグレーション&カスタムエンフォースメントかな、国境警備隊みたいな感じかな。アイスっていう組織があるんですけど、ガバメントの組織ですけどね、今日ね、そのアイスが不法移民の人を取り締まって、なんか50人ぐらい不法移民の人を捕まえたっていうね、あれですね、ホームセンターの駐車場で日雇いの仕事待ちしてる人とか、あとはあれですね、洋服の問屋さん街、ダウンタウンに洋服の問屋さん街があるんですけどね、その辺りで働いてる人、の従業員っていうか働いてる人とか、とにかくなんかタレコミでステータス持ってない人あそこに行ったらいるよっていうような、そうタレコミがあったみたいなんですね。それでそのアイスがその不法移民の人がいるとこ、まあダウンタウン周辺でいろいろあっちこっちっていう風にリストしたのかな。 そんな感じで、あれですね、取り締まりをしてですね、ちょっと待ってくださいね。から出て、まっすぐ帰るか。で、結局しょっぴかれた人たちがいるんですけど、それしょっぴかれた人のそのあれに反対してる人たちがデモをしてるっていうね、今のはそういう光景です。ただのデモで終わるのか、そこから暴動に発展するのか、まだなんていうんですか、火に油は注がれてない状態。それで今ラジオのニュースで言ってたのはね、タクティカルアラートっていうのが出てるっていうね。そのタクティカルアラートって何ってなると、その暴動とかに備えて警察もだからその厳戒態勢、だからカーフューっていうともう外出禁止令なんですけど、まだカーフューとかにはなってないんですよね。だからその警察の人が一応厳戒態勢の準備みたいなね、だからそういう状況なんですよ。大ごとにってないんですけど、ちょっとなんかね、バチバチしてるんですよね、今ね。今日金曜日でしょ。で、明日あたり、多分みんなっていうか、その休みの人が増えるじゃないですか。で、多分また明日はダウンタウンでその反対集会、それでその反対集会で集まった人たちがフリーウェイになだれ込んでフリーウェイを占拠するみたいなね、そんなことが起こったりもするかもしれないですね、明日ね。ちょっとラジオのニュース随時注目ですけどね、こういう時はね。ちょっとバチバチしてますね。
Metro, by the way, is allowing everyone to ride the system for free the entire weekend. I'm John, KNX News 97.
それで今ニュースで言ってるんですけど、LAX の外に鉄道が、鉄道の駅ができてるんですけどね、今日開業、LAX の外のメトロの駅が開業してですね、LA の街から LAX までで来れるようになったっていうね。で、まだね、LAX の空港からその駅までは来年の1月にピープルムーバーって言ってちょっとモノレールみたいな乗り物が今建設中なんですけどね、それが、来年の1月にオープンするって言ってるんですけど、その駅まで電車の方がに開通したみたいですね。で、今日起業してそれを記念してメトロ乗り放題らしいですよ、今週末。体験してほしいっていうところなんでしょうけどね。
America's top dealer in precious metals, jewelry, and collectibles, and why Sill has been featured on CNBC and quoted on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. Over the past 30 years, Tangible Investments has bought billions in collectibles. That's billions with a B.
LA の来る方はね、すごい便利良くなって、それで今はね、どうなるかっていうと、ピープルムーバーがまだ開通してないので、その駅と LAX の間は、シャトルバスを運行するっていうことらしいです。だからそのシャトルバスに乗ったら駅まで連れてってくれるっていうね、なんかそういう便利なのが始まるっていう話です。で、来年の1月にそのムーバーが開通したムーバーに乗ったらその駅 まで行って乗り換えみたいなね、そういうのができるらしいですよ。
In fact, ICP works for 98%. You will be ready in just a few minutes, regardless of age or medical conditions. So, if ED pills have failed you, our telemedicine platform now
とい
brings
うところでね、それができたら本当旅行者の人にとっては相当便利よくなりますけどね。ダウンタウンのリトル東京に駅があって、そこまで乗り換えなしで来るっていうね、まあ本来はだから空港の中にピープルムーバーじゃなくてメトロが乗り入れれば一番良かったんですよね。なんでそれができないのかなっていうね、ちょっとそこがいまいちなんですけどね。空港から空港の外に一回出なきゃいけないっていうのって。
Feel the freedom to snooze now and pay later. With 0% interest until 2030 on in-store purchases made with your Ashley Advantage
まあでも行き先があっち行ったりこっち行ったりするから結局一回外に出てそこから歩いた方がいいかもしれないですけどね。
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose-boiling stool.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called
まあそんなところでね、ちょっと
EPI.
ライオットのね、そのデモなんだか暴動なんだかどっちになっていくんだろうなっていうね、ちょっと注目の今ね、その不穏な動き、それと、鉄道が開通したっていうね、ちょっと、まあ、これで空港へのアクセスが誕生っていうね、まあちょっとまあ喜ばしい、話と両方ですけどね、今晩ねこれ。
Looks like a couple of cars involved in this one blocking the right lane, and right now seems to be on the scene conducting a traffic break, meaning all lanes are blocked temporarily while they work to get this moved out of the way. So we do see traffic backing a little bit, approaching this situation here just before the 405. Nothing too serious, but you will want to be
どうしよう。
be
フリーウェ
prepared
イ
to slow
乗
down
っかっちゃって帰りましょうかね。今日も頑張ったから今日これでいいかな。やろうかな。
As you make your way through Culver City in the Mid-City area, I only see you slowing down a little bit as you get past First Avenue approaching the 110 interchange. Also, we did have some slow traffic on the 110 northbound. It is still below the speed limit, all the way from Sloss and into
ここにいます。
nothing too serious here.
このまんま下道をこのウエストハリウッドの方へ向かってビバリーヒルズウエストハリウッドの方に向かって走るか、この10フリーウェイに乗ってフリーウェイに乗って帰るか、どっちかって感じなんですけど。
A couple of cars involved in this one, maybe 3 cars total. They're blocking the right-hand lane as well, so you can get by on the left, but that's pretty slow from the 110 interchange.
帰ろうかなと思っ
Only
てます。
reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the KNX News 24-hour traffic center. Overnight more clouds and fog continuing for the next several days, but we're going to see less and less of that marine layer, more sunshine and warmer temperatures expected through the weekend and early next week. We are expecting to first peak on Tuesday with 70s, 80s, and even 90s through our inland valleys, and then get a little cooler by the end of the week. Southern California's next weather forecast. I'm KCAL meteorologist Evelyn Taft, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Back now to the ice operations across the city of LA. The agency confirms that 45 people were detained. We got more from LA City Council member Ines Hernandez.
Several raids throughout the city. We have 2 confirmed at 2 day labor centers, one in Cypress Park at the Home Depot and the other in Westlake at that Home Depot. We've had several people arrested. We had David Huerta, who is the president of SEIU UAWW, arrested and also hurt, physically hurt by federal agents. We had to go to the hospital and he's still detained. What we're seeing not only in Los Angeles today, but throughout the state, throughout the country, is that their tactics being used by the federal agencies are escalating. They're becoming more aggressive, they're becoming more violent. And so I do believe that things will continue to move in that direction because that's how they've been moving since
穴が開いてる。うわ、危ねえ。あんなのにタイヤ落としたらサスペンション壊れちゃうね。
It is incredibly frightening. This is the amount of terror that our communities are living with right now. There's just no words to put to it. We are having people whose families are not going to be receiving their loved ones today because they've been kidnapped and taken by our federal agencies. So yes, terror is accurate. Is an accurate word to describe what our community is at this moment.
And Councilwoman Hernandez says she wants reports to the LAPD was at the scene of one of these operations fully investigated.
LA is a sanctuary city, which means that we do not use our resources, our staff time, or our facilities to enable and support regulation enforcement. When we do see different acts or different behaviors with the city departments, we must hold them accountable. And if our policies were violated as a city, we will hold departments accountable. And I know that's one thing that myself and other colleagues are very much interested in ensuring that our city is not participating in the enforcement of federal immigration laws. And what we are doing also as a city is investing in know your right stations, know your right clinics, legal clinics, so that people can get the necessary documents, information, how to respond, even, doing scenario acting. What do you do in a situation if federal agents of those are the things that we're investing in and working with our community partners to ensure that. I think we've been doing this for a long time. These images of people being taken, for some of us, are not new. We've seen these rapes happen in the 1990s, and even in the last administration, we saw this happening, not at this scale, but it happened. So we want to make sure that people are prepared and ready for an emergency.
LA City Council member Hernandez, who represents the Westlake District, where two of the ICE operations placed today. 1020. Sports bed made more than a half century ago is finally starting to pay dividends.
Title IX things, the Scottish Tribune Department said universities, same way you do the men.
Ted Leon says owning of these sports teams, including the WNBA's Mystics, as women's basketball has finally earned respect it's always deserved.
The way the game is being presented looks like the NBA, the production values, the coaching.
Ted Leon tells Bloomberg what you see now with basketball will soon spread to other women's sports. It means Dexter wanting to become an owner would do well to think outside the basket.
I would look at a hockey team. I would look at professional volleyball.
Because he says Title IX bets keep paying.
The women's game will be highly compensated, well-attended, young girls growing up who want to aspire to be professional athletes. That spire is going to go up for a long, long time.
I'm Bloomberg's Andrew O'Day, California Deluxe Windows Money Desk, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Yeah. これね、なんか思ったより車がいるけど。あんまり遅い時間にうろうろしてると酔っ払いがいっぱいいるから良くないからもう帰ります。
He gave the Dodgers 6 innings, allowing 4 in his second start of the season. The Angels open a homestand with a win over Seattle by the score of 5-4. Travis started No hit his second homer of the year, a two-run blast in the fourth. And Chris Taylor went 2 for 3 with a game-tying RBI double, and then Nolan Shonwell brought him home with a single that held up as the game winner. Former Cy Young Award winner Corbin Burns will undergo Tommy John surgery. This comes just 3 months into a 6-year contract with the Arizona Diamondbacks, who will likely be without their new ace until late next season at the earliest.
車線はみ出してるから、ちゃんと前見てないと危ない。
Texas Tech 10-4 in the third and deciding game of the championship for Women's College World Series in Oklahoma State. They're the first team other than Oklahoma to win the title to UCLA back in 2019. The Florida Panthers have tied up the Stanley Cup Finals in a piece, beating the Oilers in double overtime in Edmonton 5-4. Brad Marchand scored his second of the night over just over 8 minutes into the fifth period. Corey Perry tied the game for Edmonton with just 17 seconds remaining in regulation. Game 3 is Monday in Sunrise, Florida. And the Sparks won at Dallas 93-79. Paige Beckers did not play as she recovered from a concussion. 10:25 now. It's your traffic every 10 minutes on the 5 as we get you over to Goodia.
Well, I want to say thank you to AppTar for giving me a call on the 6 line. You know about what's going on this road work on the 710 northbound. This is as you're heading into the Bell Gardens area between Firestone and Florence. It's pretty slow right there. So this is related to ongoing emergency road work going on for the last couple of weeks. And so you can expect slow traffic through this whole section of the 710. Right now, I actually do see you backing up a little bit from just their Imperial Highway on the 710 northbound. So plenty of activity here. Also on the 5 southbound, right as you get past Slauson Avenue, heading over into Santa Fe Springs towards the 5. That's moving below the speed limit. We've got a lot of Caltrans activity here. This interchange with the 605. For right now, you will not be able to connect from the 5 southbound over to the 605 southbound. That connector ramp is closed. And the ramp from the 5 northbound of 605 also closed right now until the early morning hours. We also see very slow traffic on the 605 northbound, leaving the Santa Fe Springs area, heading towards through the Whittier area all the way into Rose Hills, moving below the speed limit from before Slauson all the way over to Beverly Boulevard. But by the time you get over to the 60 on the 605, it all clears up pretty well. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the KNX News 24 Traffic Center.
Well, it's going to be a nice weekend. There's going to be some early cloud cover, but you don't mind that, right? It's June after all. It's typical Southern California. We'll have sunny skies later in the day and highs staying in the 70s. And the valley's good at 90 on Sunday. It's 10:26. The LA County Department of Public Health is investigating a case of measles in a person who recently traveled overseas. The agency is looking at several sites where others could have come in contact with them. If by chance back on May 28th you were at the Costco on Via Princesa in Santa Cruz between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. Trader Joe's in Golden Valley in Santa Clarita from 2:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. or at the Walmart on the Old Road in Seacrest between 3:15 and 4:45. You could be at risk of developing measles. Health officials say symptoms can present in 7 to 21 days, and the risk of contracting the disease is particularly high for people who have not been vaccinated. It's 10:27.
Mike Simpson here. Do you want to sell a house, but it needs a lot of repairs? Do you need to sell? You don't really have to put it on the market and wait for an offer to come through. Are you tired of the all-cash buyers promising the world only to step right along the way? Wedgwood Homes, this is your answer. They're firm on their offer. They're actively buying homes in Southern California, and they've been doing it for nearly 40 years. Wedgwood Homes has no fees, no agent commissions, no listing contracts, and they can close in as little as 8 days. Whether you're selling as is or you've got tough rental properties, you just inherited a home, maybe it's just some financial stress right now. If you don't want to go through the traditional process, you can count on them to turn the home or property into cash. No repairs, no cleanings, no showings, and they work a timeline. And again, unlike the other cash buyers who renegotiate after the sign, Wedgwood Homes does not do that. Their offer is firm. Call now for no obligation all cash offer from Wedgwood Homes. They're at 781-9600. The trusted home buyer in Southern California, 800-9600. WedgwoodHomes.com.
If you're 55 years of age and older, you probably fear running out of money before you die more than you fear death. That's what the survey says. I'm Tom Mosley, Right on the Money Show on 1070 AM, from the Right on the Money TV show, from the Wealth Council on Fox Business, and the founder of Mosley Wealth Management. Getting your retirement on the money can seem daunting. It can seem intimidating. And that's why we invite you to contact us at Mosley Wealth Management and claim your own retirement blueprint. That takes the guesswork and, more importantly, the worry work out of your financial future by having a true plan for income that you can't outlive. And all of this is at no charge to you if you're listening to us right now on KNX. time with my team and build your own retirement blueprint with us right now. Go to mosleywealthmanagement.com. That's MOSLEY wealthmanagement.com and get on our schedule and claim your blueprint.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
1455 Breezy, San Diego, CordellCordell.com. No one wants to leave behind stress for their family. That's why a trust or a will is so important. Without it, your assets might go to the wrong people or leave out loved ones. Also, probate is long, expensive, and often avoidable with a TrustandWill.com makes it simple to create a personalized estate plan. A trust or will provides clarity and peace of mind. Get 20% on your estate plan documents by visiting TrustandWill.com/radio. From the Downtown LA Law Group Injury Health Studios.
Is Southern California News.
KNX News.
報道の海が
10:30, good evening on this
フリーウェ
Friday.
イの中に流れ込んで
And the LAPD
フリーウェイ
issued
が
a citywide
動かないとかなったら大
requiring
変
all
なんですよ
officers
ね
to remain on duty after their shifts end due to the protests in downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Protesters have been near the federal building for hours, angry over ICE agents arresting immigrants across LA today. Ethan Trio reports.
At one point on Sanford Street, near a business known as Ambiance, ICE teams moved in and detained and removed some 20 workers, but had to run a gauntlet of protesters who tried to block the custody van's departure until other federal officers lobbed flashbang grenades into the crowd, clearing the roadway. I asked Jonathan Green, who was watching the action, if anyone was injured.
There was one guy who tried to stop the car carrying the people that were arrested in it, and he fell, and the car started to roll over his ankle and then reversed. When I saw him stand up, he was limping, but he looked like he could still walk on his ankle.
Anybody else hurt?
Not that I saw.
The vans, how many of them did you see?
I'm going to say between 4 and 6, roughly. I would say it was probably 6 to 8 people per van. It had very tinted windows, so you could just kind of see silhouettes, but that was roughly what it looked like.
ICE confirms 45 people were arrested in the operation, which ranged from the Westlake area to the Fashion District. LA City Council member Genesis Hernandez says ICE agents conducted raids this morning in her downtown LA Council District.
Colleagues, throughout this morning, we have been receiving reports from my district about swift and aggressive immigration raids and enforcement. My team and I have been in contact with community members and rapid response organizers since early this morning. At our day labor center at the Home Depot in Cypress Park and the day labor center in Westlake at the Home Depot there. LA is a sanctuary city, and we've made it clear that we will not cooperate and use our resources for ICE and federal immigration enforcement, but that doesn't stop them from showing up. And now we're seeing their tactics quickly escalate. They're swooping in fast without warning and leaving just as quickly. They don't hang around because they know we mobilize.
Still no confirmation from the feds as to the reason for this morning's action downtown LA. One estimate is that 45 people have been taken into custody. LA Mayor Karen Bass tells us she's outraged and appalled by the operation. We asked if there was any heads up from the feds about this.
Absolutely not. There was no coordination. Our office had no knowledge of this, and my understanding is that the LAPD has no knowledge of this either, except for that one location, not the multiple locations that happened. Now, what LAPD tells me is it is not unusual for ICE to come in, and they certainly know what our policies are, so that it's not unusual for them to come in and notify anybody. They come in, they don't notify anybody, and then when it gets out of hand, they have a problem. It just puts our city in a very, very, very difficult position.
She tells us a local labor leader was injured during the ICE operation.
I'm actually here right now at County General Hospital because David Huerta, the president of SEIU USWW, is being detained. He was injured while he was being detained, as he was a witness to what was happening at that one location, and so I'm here to check on his condition and to see what I can do to get him released from being detained.
The man mistakenly deported to El Salvador has been returned to the U.S. today, but he now faces charges of smuggling illegal immigrants over the border for the last 9 years. Those charges charges announced by Attorney General Pam Bondi, who says Kilmar Abrego Garcia has been indicted by a grand jury in Tennessee over being a major part of the smuggling ring.
Abrego Garcia is also alleged with transporting minor children. The defendant traded the innocence of minor children for profit. There are even more disturbing facts that the grand jury. It is alleged this defendant is part of the same smuggling ring responsible for the death of more than 50 migrants in 2021 after the tractor trailer overturned in Mexico. This is part of that same ring. The defendant abused undocumented alien females, according to co-conspirators who were under his control while transporting them throughout our country.
She says he will be imprisoned in the U.S. if convicted and then deported to El Salvador again. A lawyer for Abrego Garcia says today that shows he could have been returned from his mistaken deportation at any time and said he looks forward to this going to court. 10:35 now. For traffic, covering 10 minutes on the 5. What's happening, Rebecca?
Well, we've got some road work that's happening. This is on the 5 South as you're heading through Valencia into the Santa Clarita area. Right now I see the slowest traffic right around Valencia Boulevard, below the speed limit from there all the way to Lyons Avenue. Just an ongoing Caltrans project here. By the time you get past all this, then you're right on the 5. Looks pretty good as you make your way through the Newhall Pass into the San Fernando Valley area. Downtown we see some slow traffic, 110 northbound, pretty tough right now between the 10 and the 101. 101 northbound, slow as well as you make your way over to the 4-level interchange. And a new problem in the mid-city area. This is on the 10 around Fairfax Avenue. Looks like a stalled car here, stuck in the center divider, but this is a very narrow center divide, a very narrow left shoulder, so cars are swerving to avoid it. As you head east on the 10 past Fairfax Avenue, just be prepared to get over to the right-hand side to avoid this stalled car stuck in the left lane, partially blocking the left lane. We also have some road work in the Bell Gardens area, the 710 northbound between Firestone and Florence. Really starting to slow down a lot around Firestone, very well below the speed limit. But once you get past Florence, it's an easy ride. Just as you're heading north, you are going to want to be prepared for that because it does kind of happen suddenly. Just be ready to stop. 710 northbound right around Firestone. SoCal's only reliable traffic reports every 10 minutes on the 5 from the News 24-hour traffic center.
Low tonight around 60, highs tomorrow, heading into the 70s and 80s. And that's for the coast basin and the valleys. Valleys look to heat up as we get towards Sunday and the start of next week. On the Miracle Mile right now, 6 degrees at 10:36. After years in the making, the new LAX Metro Transit Center station is finally here, giving people the chance to get out of their cars when they head to the airport. John Baird was at the opening ceremony.
This gleaming new station will allow people to travel to the airport by light rail train from anywhere in the metro system.
The beginning of a new era in our city.
LA Mayor Karen Bass.
This is the future of Los Angeles, where public transportation is modern, efficient, and world-class.
Metro Board Chair and LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn said this is huge.
This new station at LAX is a game changer.
And Inglewood Mayor James Butts said it will change lives.
This station means more than just being a station. It means airport workers can get to the hubs more easily. It means that visitors can step off a plane and onto a train. And it means that LA is taking one more step forward toward a future where public transit is a first choice and not a last resort.
For now, those who take a metro train to the brand new station will have to board a shuttle bus to get to the airline terminals, but next year they'll be able to hop on board the automated people mover system instead. I'm John Baird, KNX News 97.1 FM.
It's possibly the biggest change in the history of college sports. Art Sanders says a federal judge clears the way for schools to begin paying their athletes as soon as next month.
We're talking millions of dollars as the last vestiges of the amateur model are stripped away. Nearly 5 years after Arizona State swimmer House sued the NCAA and its 5 biggest conferences to lift restrictions on revenue sharing, the U.S. judge has approved the final proposal. The sweeping terms of the so-called settlement include approval for each school to share up to $20.5 million with athletes over the next year. NCAA President Charlie Baker in a statement says the settlement opened athlete to begin stabilizing college sports, enabling schools to provide direct financial benefits to student athletes, marking a huge step forward for college sports. The agreement to professionalize brings a seismic shift to hundreds of schools forced to reckon with the reality that their players are producing billions in TV and other revenue, mostly through football and basketball. I'm Art Sanders, KNX News 97.1 FM.
Governor Newsom is now responding to CNN reports that the Trump administration could soon make big cuts in federal funding to California. Federal agencies are asked to identify grants that can be pulled. In addition, a whistleblower told Congress that all research funding to the state could be canceled. The governor issued a statement saying California provides more than $80 billion more in funding to the feds than it gets back. And he says cuts here will hurt the national economy. So state political analyst David McEwen tells us cuts to universities would hit particularly hard.
Look, if you're talking about NASA and what's happening in terms of research and rockets into space satellites, if you're talking about telecommunications, if you're talking about healthcare studies, advances in modified RNA vaccines, what happens in terms of HIV, children's health, cancer, breast cancer research, all of these happen up and down California throughout the universities, whether that's at UCLA Med Center, whether that's at Stanford, public and private will all be affected.
President Trump on after California before over wildfires and more recently over a transgender student competing in high school track and field. After that angry spat yesterday between President Trump and Elon Musk, that's the fact tank, proving there's a business angle between the president and one of the most successful businessmen in the world. Kelly O'Grady says there could also be repercussions for artificial intelligence.
Elon Musk is at the forefront of AI, and the administration is going to be very key when it comes to regulation. And Elon Musk does not have a great relationship with OpenAI. Sam Altman, also someone who is at the forefront of AI and that regulatory space. So some of some interesting things there, maybe an opportunity for OpenAI to deepen their relationship with the White House.
The legislation Trump's big beautiful bill forbids states from regulating AI if they want continued access to federal broadband funding. It's 10:41. Homeowners looking for a tiny home, kitchen remodel, or fresh home makeover? See what's new in decorating, remodeling, landscaping, and tiny homes at the Inland Empire Home Show this weekend at Ingalls Event Center in Norco.
Transform your home with the power of smart technology. Just one touch by Video and Audio Center. Building or upgrading? Include us in your